Good morning and welcome in to another episode of Ask the Experts here on the Big 920, thebig920.com, streaming nationwide and beyond via the iHeartRadio app. My name is Mitch Thundernellis. I am the host of Ask the Experts, and we are joined once again by our friends from Groth Law Firm. John is here. John Groth is here this morning. Good Sunday morning to you, my friend.
Good Sunday morning to you. How are you?
Well, you know.
You sound great.
I hope I'm great.
Good.
Yeah. We'll see how the Packers do later today. I may have picked them to lose.
Oh, it was a close game last time. That was an exciting game because the spread was
right.
14 points.
It was. So we will see what happens. Good to see you on this morning. And today you've brought with you another one of your friends and coworkers. Kyle Buss is here. Kyle, good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Yes. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited for kickoff a little bit here.
Yeah. You know, we found out before the show that you're a Yankees fan.
I am a Yankees fan. I like teams that win, and I hear that you're a Red Sox fan, so I'm sorry to hear that.
You like teams that win historically. I mean, not in recent history, but historically.
Historically,
which is cool.
And recently, and next year, yes.
Fair enough. We'll leave it at that.
I like the Brewers. How's that?
You know what?
There we go.
I think we can all say we like the Brewers.
There we go.
Is that fair?
Go Brewers, go.
Absolutely. So, John, we've had you in a couple times now, and you've been by yourself, and you've been with guests, and we've been talking about all the things that Groth Law Firm can do to help people and really making people whole again and how that whole process goes. And we've talked quite a bit about what happens when someone calls you and how that first call goes and what happens then. And today I think we want to dig a little bit deeper into that process and what happens both before that call, so what people need to do to protect themselves, but then really what happens after that with the investigation. I know that Kyle is an expert at expert crash reconstruction and that process, and so we're going to get into that as well today. Does that sound like a good place to go?
Yeah, it does.
I think we should do that.
It's just digging into the next stage in the process. Yeah. So
something happens. There's a car accident, or there's a or something. I don't want to say catastrophic, but something bad.
We for some reason had a rash of dog bites. I don't know if it was people were out more because of the weather or what the deal was, but there was, oh boy. All right. Well, we're half dozen of like dogs attacking kids.
We're going to spend a whole segment this show talking about that because I have a situation. That happened a few years ago with a dog that we owned at the time that I want to talk about with you guys. And so,
absolutely,
it's always nice to bring in personal history and stories and stuff like that. So,
but
so I would guess more common though, the car accident is kind of the classic case.
Yep.
So someone calls, there's an investigation. You guys are really, one of the things that you take pride in is helping relieve that stress immediately.
Yeah, I think it's important when we get, potential clients. They call us up, their lives are turned upside down. Their car's damaged, their back hurts. They don't know how to, go to work the next day. I mean, what we do is we make sure that, more or less from beginning to end, they're taken care of. We'll get them to the right doctors. We'll make sure their property damage is taken care of. I know personally, and from working in the legal field for as long as I have, a lot of firms will say, you just deal with your property damage. And, oh, by the way, you got to go to the hospital. Let me know when you're done treating. We will contact these clients from beginning to end, see how they're doing, make sure they get to the right doctors, make sure the vehicle's fixed, everything in between.
So it sounds like you guys are part of the process, and people need to be careful because, to your point, Kyle, I think so often people are harmed by what they don't know. And so they don't follow the right procedure. They don't follow the right step. They don't document things the way they're supposed to. And I'd like to think that all law firms are, I don't want to say created equal, but all law firms are looking out for their client. And on some level, I'm sure they are. But it sounds like the connection that you form and the way that you follow that process all along with the client is one of the things that sets you guys apart.
It is, and I don't know if it's maybe you want to call it the growth difference.
Sure,
we could.
I'm going to write that down.
Growth difference.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's these people come to us, and whether it's a car accident, dog bite, slip and fall, they don't know where to turn to, and it's our job, and obviously we've been doing this for quite some time to make sure that they talk to the right people, they get the right treatment, everything's documented. So at the end of the day, we can not only maximize their settlement, but make sure they get their lives back to what it was before whatever happened.
Absolutely. We're talking today with Kyle Buss and with John Groth from Groth Law Firm. Go to grothlawfirm.com. That's GROTH, grothlawfirm.com. And I always come back to this, and I feel like I'm going to come back to this every month with you, John, is that concept of making people whole. And it's, so often we, society's hard right now. America's tough right now. And there's so much debate about, all right, well, is this a capitalistic thing, or is this a socialist thing, or is this a what? At the end of the day, if somebody's hurt, if somebody's in an accident, and they hire you, it just makes sense to me that you're invested in getting them back to whole, because, Kyle, like you said, that'll maximize their settlement. But even more than that, it'll make them a whole human being again.
Well, absolutely. And I don't know if, John, if you want to touch on this a little bit, but in most cases, they didn't ask to get rear-ended. They didn't ask to get bit by a dog. I mean, we're not trying to run up the scores here. At the end of the day, we want to make sure these bills that have been incurred over the last 6-12 months are taken care of, that their car is back to normal,
yep.
that they can, any lost wages are taken care of. This isn't some get rich scheme.
Right.
This is our clients who didn't ask for a terrible situation to happen, but once it happened, they certainly give us a call and we make sure to take care of them.
Sure. Well, and it's a real life situation. You're talking about something that occurred to somebody's mom or somebody's kid or somebody's aunt, uncle, whatever it is, whoever they are. And it does kind of come back to capitalistic, socialistic, or some kind of politics because, or economic format, I guess I'll say, instead of politics. But because Progressive, Acuity, whichever insurance company, it's
right.
their job. That's their business, and that's fine. Their job is to get as much as they can in premiums and pay out as little as possible. That's just the way it is.
Right.
And that's our job to fight against that and make them pay out more than they want to pay. There's something that's been happening more frequent than not in recent years with insurance companies, is they're coming soon after a crash and saying, hey, we'll pay you, let's say, $500 right now, and we'll cover your medical expenses in the next 30 days. And they'll have you sign a document. You get your check for $500, and then you think you're covered. And I've had...
Can I give a PSA real quick here?
Yeah.
Don't sign that paper!
Absolutely not.
Am I right with that?
100% correct.
All right, just want to make sure we're on the same page.
The problem is people are in tough times, and they have to pay for...
They need that $500.
They need $500 because they need to pay for their groceries, and they may be off work for a couple days, so they need to pay for it, so they do it. And then I've had a number of potential clients who we can't help out because they did sign, have come and said, well, the adjuster said I'll be taken care of. And, well, theoretically, you were taken care of for that month.
Right.
But once the 31st day or whatever day it is, and you're still going to the doctor, and you call back the adjuster and say, hey, you said I'd be taken care of, my medical bills be taken care of. The adjuster says, sorry, what you signed cuts off on this day. I don't care if you have more medical bills. That's it.
Yeah,
so
I've done physical therapy, not because of accidents or anything like that, but I play sports, and you guys play sports as well. So you get injured and you got to go to physical. I don't know any physical therapy that says, yeah, come for 3 weeks and then you're all healed. I mean, so I'm guessing in an accident even more. This is a 2-3 month process for some people, probably a lot longer. For some people, knock on wood, they're lucky that they're not injured in an accident. But this isn't it sounds like the insurance company treats everybody pretty much the same. Oh, well, look at this. And every example, I'm guessing, is different.
Well, right. And to kind of touch on what John was talking about, especially this time of year, it seems like insurance companies are, people get in an accident or other incidents that happen, they will call them immediately. They will show up at their house. They'll say, sign on the dotted line, flash a little bit of money. And I've known too many people who've signed it.
Yeah.
And they've lost all their rights to go after the insurance company.
And there's no recourse after that, right?
There's no recourse after that.
It's shocking how fast.
But you guys are lawyers. Can't
occurs.
you get past a legal document?
A contract's a contract. Yeah.
You sign on the dotted line at some point. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, you could say it's a contract of adhesion or unfair dealing or all that kind of stuff, but it's been tried and it's been lost.
So don't sign that contract.
Just don't. Or
Yeah.
Simply say, I want to think about it. Can I call somebody?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? You want to get a second opinion when you're going to go
Anything.
online for anything? Yeah. You're looking to look
When
on
I'm
Amazon
when I'm
and
doing
on
my
eBay.
basement or my roof,
Yeah.
or I'm buying a car or anything, I want to go to more than one. I want more than one option.
So why would you take the
Fandom
first
of a baseball
deal?
team,
Yeah. Well,
Why would you take the one or the first offer, the only offer from the insurance company, when it's in their best interest
Right.
to offer you as little as possible? It just doesn't make any sense. But especially now, it's the holiday season, and you need that extra cash for something,
Right.
and that's where it's shocking to me how fast they have people available to swoop in and literally knock on your door with a check. That's kind of shocking, but that's the business they're in, and they understand that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, and
Right.
people are going to fall for it.
Well, and not only do they, is it holiday season, but it's also at the end of the year and everybody's budgets. They probably have some money burning holes in their pockets because of the premiums they charge and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
So we have some extra cash on hand right now. I'm not, and I would never suggest this, and you guys would never suggest this. When that person knocks on my door and say, "Here's $500 and we'll cover your medical," can I negotiate with them? Not that I ever would, but just to kind of needle them. I kind of say, why don't you give me a check for $500,000 and then we'll start talking.
yeah, I mean, certainly.
And then
you
they'll
could,
slam the door in my
yeah, I
face.
was going
of
to say you
course.
could go with that approach, and
yeah.
it's likely gonna the negotiations will end pretty
But
quickly.
I assume I don't. It's not in my best interest to negotiate or anything. It's in my best interest to say, no, thank you. I need to call my lawyer. I need a second opinion or something
You
like
think
that.
about it.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, what does it cost you to call Groth Law Firm? It's free. It's a free consultation.
And it's 414-375-2030. That's 414-375-2030.
So if at the end of the day you have a question, just give us a call. If you decide to go with us, great. We'll help you, like I said, from beginning to end. If not, what's the worst that happens? It's a free consultation. Give us a call.
And as the name of the show is, Ask the Experts. When somebody calls you, they can ask the expert and I know you guys aren't allowed to call yourselves experts, but I'm allowed to call you experts.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate that.
But you guys, I mean, this is what you do. This is what you do for a living. You've seen, I'd say you've seen everything, but then tomorrow you're going to get a call of something new.
Yep.
But you have all this experience and you have all this knowledge and expertise where when somebody calls you and makes that phone call, whether they're going to talk to you for 15 minutes and never talk to you again, or whether they're going to hire you and it's going to be a 3 to 6 month process or however long it's going to be, you're going to be able to act in their best interest. You're going to be able to give them legitimate advice. You're on their side. I got in an accident. The insurance company's not on my side. They may show up with $500 and pretend like they're on my side, but I'd like to think we're all smart enough that we know they're not.
Yeah.
You guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what we do. This is 7 days a week. We talk to hundreds of adjusters, doctors, obviously.
Just not during the Packers game today.
Possibly.
Even during the Packers game today.
Possibly.
All right.
I've
Hey, if you
taken
need,
phone calls during a Packer game.
I believe that.
I have, yeah.
But
You never know.
But it's what we do.
Yeah.
We take pride in it. At the end of the day, clients, like I said, you want to give us a call for a free consultation. We are more than happy to speak to anyone.
And something about that with the doctors and such, and just the expert discussion. Was it last week or probably 2 weeks ago now? We went to lunch with a couple of different doctors, different experts, because we want to know, kind of get into that part of the process for what's new in the world of medicine. And
Okay.
is it pain management and rehab doctors or specialists or things like that we can keep in touch with their side, so we know whether it is going to be a 3-week process to heal for this kind of injury or that kind of injury. Or I had on Thursday of last week, I had one of my paralegals said, hey, one of our clients is having some issues. There's a crush injury to her foot. Who do we know? Her doctor doesn't have a referral for a specialist.
Okay.
That's something that we are in the know, I guess I'll say, because we're going to lunch. We are keeping in touch with these kind of specialists to know who to get clients to so we can help with the process.
I actually want to get more into that when we get back because I think that brings a ton of value that people really need to know about. Kyle Buss and John Groth are with us today on Ask the Experts from Groth Law Firm. Go to growthlawfirm.com. That's Groth, growthlawfirm.com. They're at 111th and Blue Mound in Tosa. You can call them at 414-375-2030. That's 375-2030. More coming up. This is Ask the Experts. This is Ask the Experts, the Big 920, thebig920.com, streaming nationwide and beyond via the iHeartRadio app. Mitch Thundernellis here with you with Ask the Experts. And if you've had a chance to pick up the most recent copy of Milwaukee Magazine, which has the title on the cover, Milwaukee Cheers, and has a delicious-looking glass of some sort of spirit. I will assume it's Scotch, but it's probably bourbon, or people are into bourbon these days. I'm a Scotch guy. That's okay. But if you open up, there's a section on Wisconsin 2017 super lawyers. And I didn't even have to thumb through it. I opened right to the page. And I've got a picture of John Groth. I've got a picture of last month's guest, Melissa Fisher. And I've got a in the picture as well, today's guest, Kyle Buss. So Groth Law Firm, skilled, dedicated, proven, is featured in the Wisconsin 2017 Super Lawyers section as, John, you were named a Wisconsin 2017 Super Lawyer, were you not?
I was lucky to get that designation, yes.
Well,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Cool.
the picture looks great. Kyle, you got a big smile going on.
I do what I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice tie.
Not that everybody doesn't, but Ryan doesn't smile with teeth, and you smile with teeth, and I like that. I like showing. If you got the pearly whites, you show them off.
Well, Ryan takes it so seriously that sometimes he just doesn't smile, but that's okay. He's incredible at what he does too.
Sure, absolutely. So Ask the Experts today, we're talking to Groth Law Firm, and we're talking about becoming whole again and the process that we go through. And we've talked to John, we've talked to you throughout the months about the entire process. And something you brought up last segment really connected with me for some reason. And you talked about how you from time to time you have lunch with doctors or physical therapists or people in other fields, and you can fill in more of those, that you talk about the process and what's hot and what's the big deal right now. Is it rehab? Is it paid management? And what's the process? If somebody comes to you with whiplash, which I'm guessing is a big deal in car accidents,
sure.
What is that? Is it physical therapy or is it do you need a neurosurgeon sometimes, or how does that? Tell us more about that you're not insulated in your bubble. You're out there, you're doing what's right. And I think both of you could probably touch on this, how important it is to talk to professionals in other professions to have a full, well-rounded idea of how you can help people.
And that's what Kyle had set up some lunches in the past couple of weeks with different pain management rehab specialists, doctors, primary care doc from the south side, and some physical therapists and such, just so we are in the know, and you can make that connection and help people out when it comes to what they need with a specialist or with ongoing care, because you have clients who they may have lost their jobs, so they have no health insurance.
Okay.
And then what?
Yeah.
Then what do? Hopefully you have auto insurance that has what's called a med pay policy, so then you can use your med pay to help pay for your doctor's bills. But who do you go to, and who is going to see you if you don't have a primary care doctor also?
Right.
So you have all these different problems. Then we have seen a lot of these situations where many times it's somebody who's involved in a car accident. They have health insurance. They have a primary care doctor. And I strongly encourage them, go to your primary care doc, because that's your quarterback.
Okay,
and they're going to tell you where to go, which specialist, is it PT or somebody else.
So start with your PCP.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you have the problem then, if the PCP, the primary care doctor, refers you to somebody else, there are doctors that don't like lawyers. I'm shocked that people wouldn't
That's
like
surprising.
us.
What is wrong with these people?
I don't know. So
I know lots of lawyers, and they're all very good people.
So
I just handed them a 20. Thank you.
You have specialists who don't like getting involved in litigation. And part of the problem is eventually the worst case scenario is there's a deposition and they're taken away from their doctor's office and they have to come somewhere else, or we'll have to come to them, and they take 3 hours out of their day where they can't treat people. They have to sit there in a room with some lawyers who they may not
Some
like.
stuffy suits.
Some stuffy suits, and answer questions that are maybe stupid. Some questions like to them. Yeah. Well,
Right.
why are you asking me this? Obviously, this person's injured, so why am I getting grilled?
Right.
Those kind of things. So there are doctors who don't like getting involved, and we like to be in the know throughout the entire process so we can help with the process, because there are some times when you will see that there's a doctor who will not help with litigation, or there's a facility in it itself, the entire facility whose rule is they won't get involved in litigation. So then we know, because we have to look at the end game, what's going to happen 6 months from now or a year from now when we have to put it in a suit. If we have to, will we get the proper support from the physician, from the doctor, from their facility? If they're not going to sit for a deposition, and we need to have them sit for a deposition, I don't want to have to subpoena them, and then, well,
that's a whole nother round of litigation. I'm
because
guessing.
then you have
Yeah.
their in-house counsel calls, and then you have their attorneys who are involved, and risk management, and it's a big mess. So getting involved earlier and getting involved in the process as to who they're seeing is really important.
And to touch on that a little bit more, like I said earlier, this is what we do 7 days a week.
Yeah.
For us to reach out to doctors and to be in the know, I think it really does two things. It's going to maximize what we can do for the client.
Sure.
As far as settlement.
Makes sense.
And more importantly, I would say, is uncertainty is what causes all this stress. It's, again, how am I going to pay for the groceries? Where do I need to go? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
For us to meet with these doctors and neurosurgeons and everyone that we meet, at the end of the day, it's something that we can say, okay, based on this soft tissue injury, I can send you to this particular facility. You'll likely have X amount of weeks of treatment before another evaluation, and then we'll go from there. At least we give them some kind of certainty based on what we know.
Yeah. I guess I'm surprised by the concept that, all right, I got in a car accident and I got hurt, and I call you guys, and you guys, you guys tell me to document everything and do everything, and I go to my primary care physician, and he sends me to a doctor, and I don't think at the time, oh, should I check on this doctor with you guys? This is where my primary care physician is sending me. I trust him. He's going to send me to somebody good. So he sends me to somebody good. They fix my elbow, which got hurt in the car accident, and months later, there's litigation about who's paying for the elbow surgery I had. That the elbow specialist that I went to wouldn't, I'm not going to say this nicely, wouldn't have the cojones to come, and I just paid him this exorbitant medical bill. I'm his patient, that he can't show up for an hour and say, yes, this person's elbow was totally messed up because of the car accident. That seems counterintuitive to me.
I would say from beginning to end, from that initial phone call until we settle the case, everything we're doing is setting up for that instance.
Okay.
Whether it's sending to a specialist or getting the permanency report from a doctor. This is exactly what we do, is we will build up the case from day one.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, you won't have to deal with that kind of an issue.
Okay.
The people that we work with, the people we would refer potential clients to, they will go to bat for you. And we know that.
So again, we go back to that concept of every step along the way, talk to you guys. So I met with my primary care physician. He referred me to somebody. Talk to if anything changes, or if there's any new information or anything, clear it. Talk to you guys, just so we're all on the same page, so we know we're headed in the right direction.
And this is what I say to every single client, is that I'm not a doctor, and if you want to go and see a doctor that I have told you has a history of not cooperating, that's fine.
Okay.
That if you have some relationship with this doctor that is, you think he or she is the only...
Right, if we're childhood friends, and I think the person
certainly
might make an exception for me, that might be different.
Well, or if you think this is the only doctor that can solve your problem, that's fine too. Just you have to understand that they may not go to bat for you in the end. Just the client needs to be aware of what's going on. And the worst case scenario is, and this is a real life situation, I had a orthopedic surgeon who's now since retired, but he was older in his
You
last
want to say
years.
his name so
I do,
badly. I can
do,
tell.
but I'm not going to.
I can tell. You want to
not
call
gonna
him
do
out
it.
right now?
I think I know who it is.
So we had it was a surgery. he had written a report, so it was in black and white.
Okay.
Said X, Y, or Z is related to the crash.
Yep.
And we had to go to trial. Well, we were getting ready for trial, and I called him and said, "Okay, we're going to now set up your deposition either before trial, or I'd like you to come to trial, and it'd be great if you could actually be there in the stand and talk to the jury." And the response was, "You're not going to like what I have to say." I was like, "Well, but doctor, all you have to do is read your report. I don't want to do this, so you're not going to like what I have to say."
But it's
And
in the report.
I was shocked that was the situation.
So
that,
can you use his report, but then not call him? Does that at least count for something?
Well, then this adds some layers of complexity, because then now you have a doctor who doesn't want to cooperate. I think I would say it's unethical. I don't know what it would be against, do no harm. It's one of the things doctors say they're going to do. And again, there are a million doctors I have many doctors who are friends who are fantastic. But there's the small chance, and I've seen it before, where a doctor doesn't want to get involved for whatever reason, and then you have to scramble and do a lot to figure out how you're going to salvage the case, because the doctor who was inside my client's body repairing it now won't go to bat. So what does that mean? And that'll give ammunition to the defense, which they're always looking for, to say no, or we're going to pay less, or whatever that's going to be. So I've had that situation occur that makes me more concerned and more vigilant with all current clients and all future clients.
And
that blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, and just that one aspect of the case, a doctor who's unwilling to testify, that could be the difference right there.
Yeah.
From beginning to end, we're talking 1,000 different steps that we need to take care of on our end. And just that right there is the difference.
Unbelievable. John, Groth, Kyle Buss are here with us today. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this concept of expert crash reconstruction, and also about some dog bites as well. Kyle Buss, John Groth, Groth Law Firm, Groth, Groth. Go to growthlawfirm.com. Give them a call, 414-375-2030, 375-2030. They're right here on 111th and Blue Mound in Tosa. This is Ask the Experts. This is Ask the Experts on the Big 920, thebig920.com, streaming nationwide and beyond via the iHeartRadio app. It's free. Download it today. Go to iHeartRadio.com. Mitch Thundernellis with you. Another edition of Ask the Experts. It's the first Sunday of the month. You know what that means. That means Groth Law Firm is in the house. John Groth is here. Kyle Buss is here. We're talking about the process. We're talking about keeping you whole, and we're talking about all the steps that John and Kyle and the entire firm go through in order to make this as stress-free a process as possible if you're in a car accident, or if you've been bit by a dog, or whatever, a tree falls on you. Hopefully a tree's not falling on you.
I've had those cases.
I'm sure. I'm sure that there's very few types of cases that you haven't seen over the years, and that
so far, I guess.
But again, you'll get to work tomorrow, Monday morning, and you'll get a call, and it'll be something that, maybe something similar happened, but it'll be something you've never seen before.
It could be Sunday halftime of the Packer game. You just never know.
If a tree does fall on you, branch out to us. 414-375-2030.
Wow, branch out to us. I like it. Nicely done.
I think I like it. That's right.
Yeah, you mentioned the Packer. I just don't have a good feeling today. I don't know why. Jameis Winston's back for the Bucs today, and I just don't have a good feeling.
They're kind of due for one, I guess.
Yeah, and the Packers played for them, a great game last Sunday night that I don't know if they can do it again. Yeah. Well, we'll see. So, talking about, and John, Kyle mentioned, John mentioned to me that you've had some recent experience with meeting with crash reconstructionists and also with private investigators. And I want to get into that crash reconstruction. So I get in an accident. How important is it that there is a crash reconstruction, or, is that used in assessing blame, or is that used in, all right, to actually prove that my elbow was hurt in this accident and that I didn't have a pre-existing condition? What is the crash reconstruction? What is that process?
In a particular case like that, overall, I would say maybe 5% of cases we would actually need an accident reconstructionist.
Okay.
But in those particular cases, it would be, unfortunately, at the scene of an accident, it's not often that people are going to say, I caused the accident.
Right. Sometimes it's obvious.
Sometimes it's obvious, a rear ender. Maybe there's some witnesses, but again, that's pretty rare that witnesses nowadays will stop and
Yeah.
speak to the police and give a name and number. So really you have he said, she said.
Yeah.
And what an accident reconstructionist can do is determine who was going what speed, who impacted what vehicle at what rate, and those determine liability. And again, that's the case right there.
Okay. So it's sometimes it's as cut and dry as that, as you need to bring somebody in because they can tell, what speed and based on, I'm guessing, 100 different variables, but that's their job. That's what they know what to do.
Well, and we had the, I'm not going to say his name. We had a guy a couple weeks ago stop by the office on a Friday, and we were going through with pictures and police reports and things like that, trying to figure out what's what because it was the early stage in the process,
Okay.
or a very early part of the process, and the at-fault insurance, who we believe is at fault, is making some hay with the thought that our client was going too fast for conditions or too fast for that particular intersection.
Okay.
We don't believe it, and the client says he was not. The other person had a stop sign, but there's a kind of general rule that speed defeats right of way. So if I have the right of way, but I'm speeding, speed defeats right of way. So I've given up my right of way because I'm going too fast.
Really?
Okay. So if I'm going 70 miles an hour in a 25, well,
that's a little, yeah. Okay.
That's-
all right.
well-
I'll give you 70 and a 25.
so 70 and 25, and somebody stops.
70 and a 65. I'm not sure I'm willing to give you. But.
Well, and that's the exact situation. So we have somebody who it's a T, and the at-fault party was at a stop sign. They looked to the left, and they didn't see what we thought was, or we believe is in plain sight, which is a vehicle coming. This person pulls out, and our client hits them because
Okay.
she pulled out and she had the stop sign. She should have stopped.
Right.
Now,
By definition, actually, a stop
Absolutely.
sign means you should stop. Yeah.
it signals
It's a good
you,
rule of thumb, I think.
I like that.
It signals you to stop.
Yep.
So she says that our client was going too fast, which is,
I would say it doesn't matter. You're at a stop sign and a car's coming. You don't go.
well, if
Whether somebody's speeding or not, you're at a stop sign. Stop your flipping car.
if in theory, I'm trying to be an advocate for the at-fault party now. I don't know why, but in theory, if you're stopped
setting up the
there,
scenario.
I'm setting up the scenario. You're stopped there. Defense counsel is going to say, "Hey, the other vehicle was 300 yards down, so the only way that they could have gotten it from there to here was going 110 miles an hour. So therefore, they gave up their right of way." That's the argument.
Again, I'll give you that if you're going 110 miles an hour. But if you're going 50 and a 40, or if you're going what is seemed to be considered appropriately above the speed limit
Yeah.
or responsibly above the speed limit, that to me is a different case than exorbitant. I'm seeing if I can hit 180 or something like that.
And so that's where the Reconstructionist comes in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If their vehicle ends up stopping 5 feet away from where the collision happened, it's going to suggest that they weren't speeding, especially at an excess rate of 60, 70 miles an hour.
Okay.
In the particular case
Right.
that we just had,
Exactly.
it was the vehicle had stopped about 100 or 200 feet down the road. It's a clear indication that they were traveling at a high rate of speed.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's
Okay.
things like that, and where's the pieces of the car? Where is that left? Was there?
How far did they fly?
How far do they fly?
All of those factors.
Sure.
Was there a skid marks and things like that?
Yep.
And those are things that we have to again look at the end game and what's going to happen if we're in front of a judge and a jury. I can't get up there and say I believe X, Y, and Z. Look at this police report. That's not allowed.
Okay.
What we have to do is have somebody who will be able to give that voice and talk about the evidence, and that's going to be an expert, and that expert then can rely upon a bunch of stuff.
And that touches on last segment, that we know these experts. We know them on a personal level.
I was just
and
gonna make.
professionally.
I was gonna make the same connection. Cow.
So
Sing it.
it's all aspects of the case, and we're on it.
Well, and I think that shows the power of Groth Law Firm. That shows the power that Groth Law Firm, when they take your case, when you guys take someone's case, it's a I don't know if it's a 180 or a 360 or it's all encompassing. You're going to be protecting people on all levels, and figuring out, whether it's the medical profession, whether it's, again, to this accident reconstruction, whether it's, we haven't even talked about private investigators and that whole process, which I'm guessing could probably be its own show at some point. Getting into that process, you're all in. I mean, you're fully invested in getting, and again, there are people out there who say, oh, they're fully invested in getting the highest settlement possible. And I'll come back to them and I'll say it every time. No, that may be part of it, but you're fully invested in making people whole again. People who've been wronged, people who've been a victim of an accident, getting them back to whole. Because that's, we're gonna leave here today and we're gonna watch the Packers game and we're gonna hang out with our families or our friends or whatever we do, and we're living a whole life. We're doing what we like to do. I gotta clean the dining room tonight, and I gotta do it. But that's part of my whole life. If that's taken away from me by an element that I had no control over, and that I was the victim of something, I would want to get back to whole. And that's what you guys are doing.
That's exactly, like I said before, that's what we do. That's 7 days a week for us. Our job is to make sure that you are where you were at prior to the slip and fall, the dog bite, the car accident.
So we only have a couple minutes left in this segment, but I do want to touch on the dog bite real quick, because we think so often of car accident. All right, car accident, I'm going to call the law firm, but dog bites, other animal bites, whatever it might be. I mean, that's part of what you guys do as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I had a case several weeks ago where there was a pit bull that was on the loose.
Okay.
And unfortunately, there was 3 children involved in this particular incident.
Wow. Okay.
The pit bull got a hold of all 3 of them and ultimately fled.
Okay.
Now, at the scene, we have 2 good Samaritans who helped get the pit bull off of one of the kids.
Yep.
They're whacking with a shovel or something, right?
They had to physically hit the dog with a shovel to get him off of one of the kids.
Yeah.
So obviously, we deal with some pretty traumatic stuff.
Yeah.
Very terrible injuries. But importantly, I would almost stress, we have 2 people at the scene. We have a random dog that runs away prior to the cops getting there. The difference is our resources. It's the people that we know. Because initially, the cops show up. They don't know who the dog belongs to. They don't know really anything, whether there's an insurance policy, anything like that.
Right.
It's our job to contact the investigators, which we've done.
Okay.
They talk to the neighbors. They talk to
Canvass the neighborhood.
Any and all witnesses. It's one of those where
they put it all together.
They will put everything together, and if at the end of the day we can help those kids get back to whole, that's why we're here.
Absolutely. Kyle Buss, John Groth from Groth Law Firm, Groth, growthlawfirm.com. Give them a call, 414-375-2030, 414-375-2030, right here on 111th and Blue Mound in Tosa. We'll come back to wrap things up, connect some more of the dots, and figure out how to get everybody back to whole on Ask the Experts. This is Ask the Experts on the Big 920, thebig920.com, streaming nationwide and beyond via the iHeartRadio app. Mitch Thunder Nellis with you here, as I am every Sunday from 8 to 9 on Ask the Experts. And like the first Sunday of every month, Groth Law Firm is here. John Groth is with us. Kyle Buss is with us. And they've taken us through a number of the different processes of how they go through making people whole again, how they go through the process, the different experts in all the different fields they talk to, that it's not just car accidents, but it can be dog bites, it can be, tree falling and who's to blame and that sort of thing, and how you get that answer and how you reconstruct some of these situations so that you get what is due to you at the end of the day. We've got the holidays coming up, and the first Sunday of January isn't until January 7th or whatever it is. And so I just wanted to touch a few minutes on, what you see during the holiday season more, maybe are there cases in December that are more than others? Is it because the winter is getting colder or icier? Is it because of drinking during holiday parties? Is it, what do you see more, and what do people need to do to protect themselves?
I would say at least around this time of year, there's probably 3 main things. Usually you'll have the insurance companies trying to get you to settle whatever your case is quick.
By the end of the year.
By the end of the year,
Okay.
if you were involved in a motor
Fiscal
vehicle
year.
accident, fiscal year, they will call you, come to your house, try to get you to sign on the dotted line.
Okay.
That's exactly when you call us, 414-375-2030.
Perfect.
Other than that, this time of year, we're going to have, I'm assuming, sometime soon, a couple of blizzards.
Yeah.
Weather-wise,
There'll be weather. Whether it's
tis the season.
But even if it's rain, that's still weather, you know.
It's around this time of year. People haven't driven on snow for the last 6-7 months. So
Exactly.
typically accidents increase around this time. And then unfortunately with the holidays, there's a lot of people who drink and drive.
Yep.
And so I'd say
Holiday
those are
party season.
holiday parties and everything else.
Can I just say another PSA? Don't drink. Don't. You got a cab, you got Uber, you got Lyft,
Uber,
you got a
Lyft,
friend. Do something. Make a better decision. Even if you think you're not drunk, even if you've only had a couple, even if you've done it 100 times before and you've gotten lucky, don't. Make a better decision.
That's what I kind of thought years ago when Uber and Lyft came about, that there wouldn't be as many drunk driving cases just because it's so easy.
It's
It's
easy.
an app. It's on your phone or it's on your watch. You
Yep.
push the button and they're there.
And they're there.
Click, $5 later, you're home.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people who make that terrible decision and their lives are, ruined.
Yeah.
Legal costs and jail time and everything else.
So-
Just don't even think about it.
And I'll go back to one of the other examples you gave as well, is weather. And it's, and I love all the tweets and all the social media, the first snow we get, where everybody tweets, oh, it looks like everybody's never driven in snow before. Everybody forgot it. We've all driven in it, people, okay? We live in Wisconsin. We know how to drive in snow. We know how to drive in ice. Act like it. Give yourself a little extra time to brake when you're coming to a stoplight or a stop sign. Don't hit the person in front of you. How about that?
Yeah.
Act like you've been there before.
Correct. Well, and I think part of it is you get, we all see people who are on their phones looking down while they're driving, and then you get the snow, and then you are looking down in your phone for whatever reason because you have to see what Facebook says at that particular moment. And
Facebook is really important, John.
and then you forget that, you have to stop a little bit earlier, but you're
Right.
distracted because of the phone, and then it's a mess.
Yep.
And then, you've changed somebody's life, and that it just isn't fair in the entire grand scheme of things, and certainly during the holiday season. The weird thing is that we probably won't see these calls or these cases until January. So, as a way to stop the process, or hopefully stop one extra call or two extra calls, we'll gladly give away those cases if people just would drive safer and understand certain things early on, that you need to, like you said, take extra time and call Uber and call Lyft or whatever it's going to be.
So if it happens to you, call immediately. Don't wait till January. Don't wait till after you've seen the doctor. Don't wait till after you've already been knocked on the door by the insurance company 10 times. Call immediately. 375-2030. 414-375-2030. If you don't call immediately and you wait till you get home, go to growthlawfirm.com. That's GROTH, growthlawfirm.com. You can message with people right there on the website, or you can find out that they're at 111th and Blue Mound, and you can walk in or make an appointment or whatever it is you need to do. You can do it from the website. You can do it from your phone as well.
And when your car is stopped, you can also text that same numbers. You can text 414-375-2030. So it
And
is,
somebody will get back to you.
we will text you back or call you back. Yeah.
Very cool. Kyle, John, thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Let's
Good to see you again.
let's get a Packers win, okay?
Absolutely. Go Pack Go.
Absolutely. Today's guest on Ask the Experts, Groth Law Firm, John Groth and Kyle Buss from Groth Law Firm. Go to GROTH, growthlawfirm.com. Give them a call, 414-375-2030. On the Big 920, thebig920.com, and streaming nationwide and beyond via the iHeartRadio app. This has been Ask the Experts. 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 Experts.